Hello friends, welcome to CEC live lectures. Myself Aditya P. Tripathi. I am here to continue our discussion on the topic of marginal costing. This is actually the part 5 of or you can say part 5th of our lecture series on marginal costing. And in today's lecture of mine, I'll tell you about cost and difference point and how do we go for applying marginal costing technique into decision making. Before I start our today's point of discussion, that is cost and difference point and decision making, let me recapitulate what we have discussed in the previous lectures. We actually talked about marginal costing, the basic principles of marginal costing, the assumptions which we take into marginal costing, and we also had a discussion on different formulas related to computation of break-even point. We also talked about profit volume ratio, how do we calculate margin of safety, and many more formulas which we had discussed, and we had also applied it numerically just to give you a proper understanding of what we mean by marginal costing in general. Now this point onwards will actually go for applying those techniques of marginal costing into our decision making process. So starting with the first topic of our today's discussion, that is cost and difference point. I'll tell you about what is cost and difference point. I'll then explain you what are the different uses of cost and difference point. Then we shall talk about practical problems on CIP, that is cost and difference point, and eventually I'll let you go through the application of marginal costing technique for our decision making. So let us start with cost and difference point. The term itself is indicating that it is a point where you are indifferent in terms of cost. So when we talk about cost and difference point, we mean to say that it is a cost which is at which, or it is a point at which we are neutral, we are indifferent in terms of our cost. So if I have to define cost and difference point, basically it is defined as a level of output where the total cost or profit of two alternatives are equal. So having said that the level of output where the total cost or profit of two or more alternatives are equal, it means I am telling you that whether you go for alternative A or you go for alternative B, there is no difference in terms of cost or profit. So if I am saying that we have to identify a level of output where we are neutral in terms of cost effectiveness. So if I say that you have two different ways of computing or completing a particular process, suppose there is process A and process B, and in both the processes you require a different amount to be spent. So we are just trying to find out a level of output where whether I'm applying process A or I'm going through process B, my cost, or you can say in other words, the profitability in both the alternatives, they are supposed to be equal. So whether I apply for whether I go for plan A or I go for plan B, there is no difference in terms of total cost, or you can say eventually the profitability. Now the question comes, why do we wish to have this kind of calculation? I'll tell you in due course of our discussion today that what are the different uses of cost and difference point. But here it is going to, what is the outcome of this computation, that it is going to provide us a level of output where the total cost of two alternatives are equal. So suppose if I am computing a cost and difference point and it is coming in terms of units, that is I say 10,000 units, so that on those 10,000 units my profit in two alternatives, it is supposed to be equal. So it can be, now there can be two possible situations where we compute cost and difference point. One from the perspective of two or more alternative methods of production. So when I say two or more alternative methods of production, I mean to indicate that here the method of production is going to differ in both the situation. So one can be mechanical, another can be manual, one can be technical, another can be manual, or it can be different depending upon the type of product in which we are going to start our production process. So we can discuss cost and difference point from the perspective of two or more alternative methods of production. So we are having two or more alternative methods of production, and we are trying to find a point of production which is going to provide us the cost and difference level, where the cost of both the alternatives or more than two alternatives, if we are taking that situation, it is supposed to be the same. So cost is supposed to be the same. So there is no difference, and obviously since we are talking about management accounting, we are always concerned about our costing. We have to minimize our cost. We have to always keep this thing in mind, that my cost should be minimum, because if my selling price is constant, as we assume that in marginal costing the selling price is constant, so if selling price is constant, it is only the cost which is going to maximize my profit. So I'm always in search of an alternative which can give me the maximum profit. So here, with the help of cost indifference point, we can find a level of indifference, depending on the demand of the product, that at what point these two alternative methods are giving me the same cost or giving me the same profit, causing me the same cost or giving me the same profit. It can also be from the perspective of machinery. Suppose you have two different types of machinery, two or more machines, they can also be considered for computation of cost indifference point. So apart from different ways to produce a particular product, we can also go for deploying or applying this technique of cost indifference point from the perspective of two or more machines which are to be considered for this computation of cost indifference point. Now, after understanding what exactly we mean by cost indifference point, now we can talk about why do we do this kind of calculation. What is the use of CIP? What is the motive behind computing this cost indifference point? And that is more important for us to understand, because this part of discussion is going to provide us the application of this technique of cost indifference point. The first and the foremost benefit which we get is it helps in cost minimization. You can minimize your cost. Obviously, you can go for choosing, or you can go for selecting that plant which requires lesser amount of fixed cost as compared to the other options. So it can definitely help us in minimizing our total cost. Second, the second important benefit which we derive from the computation of CIP is it identifies the most profitable alternative for a given level of output, or you can say sales. So it is telling us, it is giving us the ability to identify the most profitable alternative. Suppose if you are provided with a given level of output, say 5,000 units are given as your level of output, you can identify the most profitable alternative. That for, suppose if my product is having demand to the extent of 5,000 units in the market, then obviously at this level of demand in the market, say 5,000 units, what should I do? How can I find out the most profitable alternative? Suppose if my demand is ranging from 5,000 to 10,000, which machine to select, which method to opt for, whether I should go for manually producing or I should go for the more mechanized form of production, or if I am going for selecting two different types of machine, whether I should invest into the costliest machine or I should go for the economy model of that machine, or the machine which is involving lesser amount of fixed cost. So the second benefit which is there for us in front, by the use of CIP is that we can identify the most profitable alternative for any given level of output. And at times we are provided with a situation where the two machines are there, and it is very difficult for you to select a machine with lower fixed cost and higher variable cost is there in front of you, along with the comparison of a machine which is having higher fixed cost and lower variable cost. So one machine, suppose there is a machine A is involving a fixed cost of 1 lakh rupees, and it is saying that variable cost will be only 50,000, whereas machine B is telling me that in terms of variable cost the cost will be 40,000, but fixed cost will be say 80,000. So you cannot go for a clear cut demarcation, clear cut selection that yes, this machine is having lower fixed cost and lower variable cost, so I should go for it, because in one option you have lower fixed cost, in the other you have higher variable cost. So if lower fixed cost is lower, you have variable cost which is higher, and in the other option where the fixed cost is higher, variable cost is quite less. So it is up to us to decide, and here comes the role of cost indifference point, that you are comparing two different types of machinery, where in one option your fixed cost is lower but your variable cost is high, in the other option your fixed cost is higher but variable cost is significantly less. And there we take benefit of this cost indifference point. So we have to identify the cost indifference point. I will tell you with the help of practical example, numerical problem, that how do we calculate CIP and the way we use it for drawing inferences and taking decision. So a machine with lower fixed cost and higher variable cost per unit is going to be more profitable when your actual sales are below CIP. when your actual sales is less than or below the level of cost indifference point, then obviously you have to go for taking that machinery which is having lower fixed cost and higher variable cost, because variable cost changes with the level of production. If your demand is less in the market, then you go for this machinery which is involving lower fixed cost and higher variable cost. You can bear with it. But in case of opposite situation, what we say, in case of vice versa, then obviously you have to go for selecting a machinery which is having higher fixed cost but lower variable cost. The reason is, when your demand is very high, when you are increasing your production, when the demand of your product is very high in the market, then obviously we suggest that you should go for the machinery which is having less impact or less cost of less cost in terms of variable cost of that production. Now, coming to the formula, after understanding what is cost indifference point and the uses of it, let us understand what is the formula to calculate this cost indifference point. Always remember, here also we have to do the calculation in from two different perspectives. One from the point of view of units, another from the point of view of rupees. So when I have to calculate cost indifference point in terms of units, always remember your numerator will be difference in fixed cost and your denominator shall be difference in CPU, that is contribution per unit. So your formula comes here, cost indifference point in terms of units is equal to difference in fixed cost divided by difference in contribution per unit. Now one question must be coming to your mind, sir, from where we are getting this differential value of fixed cost and CPU? As I told you at the very outset, we have to go for comparing two different situations. It can be two different modes of producing a product, or it can be two different machineries which you are deploying for your production process. So whatever is the case, in both the situations you have to identify the difference in fixed cost, because both the machine, both the techniques, they are supposed to involve differing degree of differing quantum of money in terms of fixed cost. So we try to find out the difference in fixed cost, and that is divided by difference in contribution per unit. Whatever comes will be our cost indifference point in terms of units. But suppose if you have to calculate the cost indifference point in terms of rupee, it is very simple. Suppose if you have computed units, simply multiplied by selling price per unit, you will find the value in terms of rupee. Or alternatively, you can go for making use of profit volume ratio. And here the formula differs slightly. Your numerator remains the same, difference in fixed cost, but it has to be divided by difference in PV ratio. So you take up two different PV ratios, you take the difference in fixed cost divided by difference in PV ratio. But this can be done when you are computing cost indifference point in terms of rupee. So you have to understand, my dear students, that when you have to calculate cost indifference point in terms of units, you take difference in fixed cost divided by CPU, that is contribution per unit. But when I have to calculate CIP in terms of rupee, what I have to do, I have to simply change the denominator, and now the denominator shall be difference in PV ratio. Now let us practically understand with the numerical problem. Let us solve it. There is a problem in front of you. There is a company called LK Limited. This company has to choose between machine A and B. So LK Limited is giving you an option to choose from machine A and B. With the help of this information, they are giving you the further details here. Output per annum for machine A will be 10,000 and machine B will also be 10,000. Output is supposed to remain the same because we can only apply it for a given level of production. Profit at the above level, that is the level of production, it is given to be 30,000 and 24,000. This profit is given, and fixed cost per annum is given to be 30,000 and 16,000. Now here you have to mind, my dear students, the two machines which are here in place, here in front of us for selection. The first machine, that is machine A, is costing 30,000 rupees in terms of fixed cost, whereas machine B is involving 16,000 rupees in terms of fixed cost. So obviously machine A is involving higher cost in terms of fixed investment. Now let us understand what question is asking. Question is asking us to compute break even of the two machines. You have to find out, you have to calculate break even point of both the machines, and then you have to find a level of output at which both the machines are equally profitable. Now this is very important, and this is what we were talking about in terms of cost indifference point. So we have to calculate. Question is not clearly indicating that you have to calculate cost indifference point. Rather it is telling you the trait of CIP, that is level of output at which both the machines are equally profitable. So let us calculate. And then obviously we have to give a suggestion, the machine suitable for different levels of product. So for different levels of production, which machine will be suitable, that I'll discuss when I'll be telling you about the decision making process. So let us solve. First we have to calculate break even point. Formula we know, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit, because we have to do the calculation in terms of units. Formula is fixed cost divided by CPU. It is the same formula which I have discussed, which I have told you in the previous lecture of mine. Fixed cost divided by CPU. For machine A, obviously fixed cost was given 30,000 rupees. Contribution per unit, that we'll have to calculate. 6 rupees I have calculated, and after calculating it, it will come to be 5,000 units. Break even point comes to be 5,000 units. Now for machine A, the question comes, how do we calculate contribution? Contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. You must be thinking from where the 6 rupee came, so I need to justify. We computed, we clubbed fixed cost and profit. Fixed cost was 30,000, profit was again 30,000, and then total contribution comes to be 60,000. And if I divide it by 10,000 units, that is total units of production, you will get contribution per unit of rupees 6. Now the same 6 rupee we have applied here for computation of break even point. This was for machine A. The same process we have to apply for machine B as well. We have to first calculate contribution per unit, and before that we have to calculate the total contribution. You have to add fixed cost and profit together to arrive at contribution, and then contribution is supposed to be divided by number of units to arrive at CPU, that is contribution per unit. Right. Now the same process we have to apply for machine B. Break even point fixed is equal to fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost given in the question is 16,000 rupees divided by CPU, that is 4 rupees, will fetch us, will provide us the break even point of 4,000 units, right? Now for machine B contribution, how did we calculate? The same process, fixed cost plus profit. Fixed cost given in the question was 16,000, profit was given to be 24,000, and the total contribution comes to be 40,000. And if I want to know what is my contribution per unit, this I can calculate by dividing it by number of units. 40,000 divided by 10,000, that is rupees 4. Rupees 4 becomes your contribution per unit, right? And the same 4 rupee we are using for computation of break even point. 16,000 divided by 4, that is 4,000 units. Now since we have computed the break even point for both the situations, as the question was demanding for it, we can proceed for computing the level of output where at which the cost of both the machines will be similar. So let us go for computing the cost and difference point. Formula is known to us, difference in fixed cost divided by difference in contribution per unit. Difference in fixed cost, we can find 30,000 minus 16,000, you will get 14,000 rupees difference in fixed cost divided by difference in contribution per unit. So for machine A, contribution per unit was rupees 6, for machine B it was rupees 4, the differential value comes to be rupees 2, and when I calculate the answer comes to be 7,000 units. My dear students, always remember, when you are computing this cost and difference point, always mind whether you are doing the calculation in terms of units or in terms of rupee. Since you have divided it by difference in contribution per unit, obviously your answer is bound to come in terms of units. So this 7,000 unit is going to be your cost and difference point. Now here the interpretation starts. This is the point where you have to apply your managerial aptitude for giving a decision. That how do I use this 7,000 units? This is the outcome. You have two machines, 7,000 units are your cost and difference point. You have to select whether to go for machine A, which is involving 30,000 rupees of fixed cost, or to go for machine B, which is involving only 16,000 rupees of fixed cost. Choice is all yours. But remember, whatever choice you are making, it need to be supported by some quantified logic. And that logic you have to apply here, that my cost and difference point is 7,000 units. So if 7,000 unit is your total demand in the market, then instantly you can make an interpretation that, sir, 7,000 units is my cost and difference point. So it means if my demand is to the extent of 7,000 units, demand of my product is to the extent of 7,000 units, then I can be machine neutral. Whether you go for using machine A or using machine B, both the machines are going to involve the same amount of cost. So this is going to help you in terms of selecting that why to invest greater amount in terms of fixed cost. when both the machines are involving the same level of cost. So here you can go for, suppose if your pocket doesn't allow, if your budget doesn't allow to go for investing in a big machinery, then you can go for doing this kind of making this kind of choice. Now how do we write our decision? This is very important for you to understand. You have to write both the machines will give the same amount of profit at 7,000 units, and also give your interpretation that machine B will be preferred if demand is between 4,000 units and 7,000 units. Why 4,000 units? Because 4,000 units are basically the break even point of machine B. So machine B, in order to ensure that machine B should be profitable for you, you have to ensure if your demand is within the range of 4,000 to 7,000 units, go for selecting machine B, because 4,000 units is the break even point there. But suppose if your demand is more than 7,000, demand of your product or sales is more than 7,000 units, then you can say that you should go for investing into machine A. So if your demand exceeds that cost indifference level more than 7,000 units, so you have to keep this thing in mind. If your demand of your product is exceeding the level of cost indifference point, that is 7,000 units, you will go for preferring machine A. You have no other choice but to invest greater amount into your investment process. So when you complete your question, very often you feel that sir, what is the point of writing in detail, how to write? So this is the way you have to write. I just tried to explain you what you have to write in terms of your decision making, because at times when your evaluation process goes on, your concerned faculty or professor tells you that your calculation was okay, but when it came to the decision making, the inference which you drew from the calculation was not sufficient, was not adequate to understand. So this is the way we calculate cost indifference point. Now after this, I will tell you about marginal costing and decision making. How do we apply the different techniques of marginal costing, or you can say the technique of marginal costing for different types of decisions which we have to make. So that I will be telling you in the next lecture of mine. To sum up, I would like to tell you that what we have discussed today, we have discussed in this part of our lecture what is cost and difference point, what are the different uses of cost and difference point, and the way we calculate cost and difference point for our decision making process when we have to make a choice between two different types of machinery, one involving greater amount of fixed cost, another the lesser amount of fixed cost. Right? So I hope you must have understood and enjoyed today's lecture of mine. Thank you so much.